Hey there. So if you are like many agents who have struggled with lead follow-up and haven't really found a way to make a CRM work for your business, chances are it's because you're afraid of coming off salesy or spammy or inauthentic. And I get it. No one wants to feel that way, and I definitely don't either. So in this video, I wanted to help share a couple of tips on how you can fine-tune your follow-up plans in your CRM to make more effective follow-up and keep things real. Coming up, I've got 5 quick shifts that you can make to your follow-up to be more authentic and close more deals. And hey, if we haven't met yet, my name is Stefanie Lugo, and welcome to this channel where I share tips and strategies on real estate marketing and how to grow your real estate business and have a little fun while you're at it. If you're into that kind of thing, be sure to hit subscribe below and hit that little bell notification icon so that you are notified every time I drop new videos on this channel. Now, I've trained thousands of agents all across the country on how to grow their presence on social media and generate leads on Instagram. But here's the truth. None of that totally matters if you can't close those deals, right? So I truthfully am always more of a fan on focusing how to increase conversion than generate leads, because I think that with some subtle shifts in the way that we're following up with the opportunities that we already have, we can make huge strides in our profit and revenue down the road. Now, I would say this is an area where I am an expert at. No one I know is better at taking a lead from a follower to a close within 12 to 18 months, right? And I think that really is a marker of success in your business, because there's nothing worse, right, than having a great conversation with a new prospect or a new client, and over time you lose touch and you find out down the line that they, went into an open house and bought a place with another agent. That was your opportunity. That was your deal. But if you can't follow up with them and you don't stay in front of them, chances are they're not going to remember you or care enough to get in touch with you when they're ready to make a move. And so that's why follow-up is such a game changer in your business, and why I'm such a big fan of automating as much follow-up as you can so that you don't let any balls slip through the cracks. Now, of course, this can be a little bit of a complicated thing if you're not used to working with follow-up plans and drip campaigns in your CRM. So I wanted to share a couple of tips to help make this easier so that you feel comfortable automating some of your follow-up and you're still staying authentic and keeping true to yourself and your values as a real estate agent. So shift number 1 that I want to talk about is getting your mindset right. And before you roll your eyes at me, oh, another mindset little preach. No, I promise I want to be really practical and pragmatic here, okay? Now, when we're talking about effective follow-up using a CRM, I want you to know something. We are not implementing this to replace you. Kind of in a way we are, but not really. Here's what I mean. Now, just because we are leveraging powerful technology to help make sure that our follow-up isn't falling through the cracks, that doesn't mean that we're just taking ourselves out of the equation. Instead, it really means that we are leveling up in order to serve our clients on a higher level. All right, here's a scenario for you that I want you to think about. Say you hit it off with this client, kind of like I mentioned earlier, and you totally jive with them and you know that you're the very best agent to help them buy a great house, okay? It's going to be amazing for them because they're going to get killer service from you and you're going to get well compensated in the end for it as well. It's a win-win. But after your first initial meeting, maybe things fall through the cracks and you forget to follow up on time and they forget your contact information and they end up getting hooked up with a real estate agent who maybe doesn't have as high of values as you or who just isn't as well experienced as you. And maybe they don't get a great deal on the house that they wanted, or maybe they don't find the right house for them in the area that they desired. But you could have done that if you had your follow-up plans fine-tuned. Remember, we're not utilizing the CRM just to take us out of the equation. That's not what I want you to think of when we're talking about this. What I want you to think of as CRM and this automated follow-up is I want you to think of it as supporting you in order to help your clients achieve their goals. So get your mindset right and understand that we are using this technology and leveraging it to help us be in more places when we can't, okay? So just remember that a CRM is here not to replace you, but to help you and help your business while maintaining authentic follow-up and communication. So now that we have that out of the way, we're going to head over to shift number 2, which is don't overthink it. Now, a lot of real estate agents are afraid to really pull the trigger on automating their follow-up using a CRM because they just think that it's going to come off as inauthentic and salesy and spammy, and it's just not going to sound like them, right? If that's ever been something that's crossed your mind, you're not alone, but I want to just kind of bring something to your attention. When it comes to sales and marketing, nothing you can say, especially in real estate, nothing you can say to a person is going to compel them to uproot their lives and sell their home or buy a new one if they hadn't already been thinking about it. Okay, so really our job as a real estate agent is to make sure that we are spreading out our message, spreading out our service as far as we can, and reminding people of what it is we do and why we do it. And we want to make sure that we're putting out as many of those communications as we can so that when our prospects are ready to make a move, we are in front of them when that time comes. So while it may be some kind of a knee-jerk reaction to want to overanalyze every email and every text that we send out, remember that you're probably overthinking it because there's nothing so much that we could say that's really going to change the way somebody thinks about real estate, right? Especially when it comes to these automated drip campaigns or text messaging that you may be looking into. So there are some ways that I'm going to share how we can make sure it is authentic, but just know that they're probably already really great. At the end of the day, we really just want to make sure that we are following up and staying in front of the people that we need to stay in front of so that we are there to serve them when the time comes. Okay, so that leads us to shift number 3. We're going to talk about how we're going to maintain authenticity because it is very, very important. And shift number 3 is all about using your voice. So there are a lot of different scripted campaigns that you can swipe off the internet or purchase from other coaches, or that just come with a CRM that you end up purchasing, right? And the first thing that you want to do is look at them and read them out loud, all right? Because we do want to make sure that we're authentic, and we do want to make sure that when somebody is reading an email from us or looking at a follow-up, and this comes down to the way that you speak to people on the phone as well, you want to make sure that you're using your voice and that you are coming across as you would naturally in person. Okay, so you should never take scripts from somebody on the internet, and even if they say these are their proven, time-tested scripts that lead someone to a sale, that's great, but you should still be doing your due diligence and reading these communications and making sure that they are going to sound natural and authentic to you. Okay, so if you read these aloud, feel free and feel empowered to think, how would I say this in real life? How would I say this if this individual was sitting right in front of me? And make adjustments as necessary. Now, I'm not saying that you have to overhaul an entire campaign that's given to you. I'm not saying that at all, but I'm saying that a quick skim and some minor adjustments here and there can really take a scripted email campaign or scripted text follow-up from something that feels a little cut and dry to something that's more rich and really reflects your unique tone of voice. Now we're gonna head over to shift number 4, which is add value. This is one of my most important tips for you in anything that I could teach in any subject when it comes to real estate marketing and smart business follow-up. You have to add value. One of the most common things that I hear from real estate agents is that they are afraid of coming off as salesy and spammy. And that's a very common fear. Maybe you felt it yourself. But when you are coming from a place of service and you're providing education, you're providing value, you're trying to find a way to help and nurture a client, you are no longer coming off as the agent with commission breath who just wants to close a sale, right? Instead, you are coming off as the professional, the guide, the teacher who is going to help a client become empowered and become confident in their journey to buying a home or selling their home. I really think this is where a lot of agents go wrong when they're setting up their follow-up plans. They tend to just pester the client. But if we can detach from that process and think instead, how can I help this person and where are they in that cycle, in that journey of homeownership? What's going to help them at this point? You then completely turn off that salesy spamminess and you come across as an authentic professional who is poised to help. So think about this when you are planning on how you're going to reach out to people for a long follow-up plan. Think about how you're going to provide resources that are helpful and relevant to them. Maybe you need to be looking at guides that you can be creating or resources that you can be creating in terms of helping your buyers understand the home buying process or your sellers understand the home selling process. There's really quite a lot of value that you can offer as a real estate agent beyond just opening doors. And I want you to be thinking that to yourself every time you open your phone to send a text or to make a call, or every time you go to write an email, think, what can I contribute in a positive way beyond just checking in to say hi? Now, you can do this proactively. You should be looking at your existing client base and thinking about your ideal clients and really determining what they have found helpful from you in the past and how you can capitalize on those opportunities to always have something of value to provide to those that you are following up with over time. Now, this is something that I coach heavily in my program, the Market Authority Academy, and for the agents that I've helped with this, it has been absolute game changers for them. And finally, that leads us to shift number 5, and that is to test, iterate, and test. Okay, so there is nothing better that you can do for your business than to constantly question and test where you're at. All right, now I don't want this to sound scary to you. This doesn't have to be any big deal, but you should be kind of keeping in line with what's working in your business and what's not. So maybe this is part of your annual business planning process where you take stock of what emails and what texts has elicited the most responses in your follow-up campaigns and what your clients have found to be truly helpful, and see how you can really capitalize on those. Because here's the thing, you're constantly going to be evolving your business and your client base is constantly going to be evolving. And your job as a real estate agent is not ever to set it and forget it and to just be done with one iteration of your product, which is really largely your business and the service that you offer. You have to constantly be testing what it is you're putting out there and seeing how you can iterate and improve over time. Now remember, we're chasing progress, not perfection here. All right, your perfect follow-up system will never truly be done. There is always going to be something that you can do, some minor shift that is going to help you find even better results. But I do want you to make sure that you are just analyzing the data and really monitoring the things that you're putting out there to see what's working. So when you do settle on putting together your CRM plan and your follow-up plans, give it 6 months before you judge. Get 6 months of data with whatever you're doing in your real estate business, to be honest, but give it 6 months of data until you can really determine what's working and what's not, what can be removed and what can be improved. And there you have it. It really is simple, right? Those are 5 simple shifts that you can make to your CRM follow-up to really become more authentic and more effective. And I promise if you really embody these 5 shifts, you will see huge strides towards success in your real estate business. And I'd love to know which of these were kind of an aha moment for you. Tell me in the comments below if you're really excited about trying one of these tips that I have for you today. Now, to make this as easy as possible for you, I do have a pretty detailed guide all about setting up your CRM for success. So be sure to download that below. It's completely free, my gift to you. I want you to be successful, and I think that this industry has so much to offer when we truly understand how to harness the power of what it is that we can do for consumers. And of course, if you're struggling a bit in these areas, be sure to check out all of the other resources that I have. I really have quite a lot to offer below, as well as a way to book a time to chat with me and see if I can help you directly with your business, and I can share how I've helped other real estate agents across the country double and triple their businesses this year. So I look forward to chatting soon. Thank you so much for tuning in. I truly hope that this was helpful and of value to you. And if it was, be sure to share it with another friend who could use it too. As always, thanks for tuning in. Until next time, keep on crushing it.